There is a time of words and texts. There is a moment when images are made. And there is a time when everything is understood. In these moments, each thing remains in its place, and places, just like everything else, have the same face. Knowledge seems to be all that is needed. The sublimation of being transforms it into the only possible deity, and one that has never been absent. The inexplicable dissolves before the eternal being, into a nothingness in itself, perfectly understood. All texts, words, and images have been pointed in one direction, and with one single goal. The attentive observer and listener heard and responded to the call. Today, it reigns in the body of the Father, by whom it was devoured, in the place where science is the kingdom that never dies. There is a moment when language alters to fit understanding. It seems to repeat itself, to emphasize and clarify the design of things and their functions. It brings allegories and examples that give another way to demonstrate and visualize what has already been described before. Things are being identified in dimension structures. Each thing has a composition, based on the composition of other things, which also end up relating to others, to compose many others, continuing in this process indefinitely. Observation and recognition of this occur at various levels, through the adjustment of the senses to each specific level of the manifest environment. It is as if we slice a multidimensional structure, and assign limits to it, placing it in its own dimension. The senses, given as instruments to being, are adjusted and suited to this state of perception. Since these senses are equally adjusted from broader senses, being continues to have access to a greater amplitude of senses. Throughout its cognitive displacement, being often touches upon the expanded parts of the senses. Here is where attention is crucial, because this phenomenon, common to all beings, delivers perceptions of the composition, distribution, and movement of the universe clearly, but differentiated from what is called common to the universe, perceived with adjusted perception tools. Some experiences in this expanded state awaken interest in that being, seeking explanations for it. Many beings repeat these experiences. However, the understanding of these experiences, by adjusted senses, fails to fit them into the limited universe. Explanations are given, through comparisons that, in the majority of cases, do not explain, but rather confuse, and even worse, place the being in a circle of repetitive attitudes. Although explanations impress with their, at the very least, novelty and apparent supernaturalness, they serve as auxiliaries to an ego that does not want to lose its place as protagonist in the relationship with this adjusted world. For these inappropriate explanations, which impose intoxicating behaviors on the being, and apparently demonstrate a new type of power over others, by accessing information from the present, past, and future, remedies exist within the being itself. Real understanding demonstrates the latent powers of being. These powers are the tools that assist in the healthy readjustment of being in the expanded world. Healthy readjustment brings with it the correct explanation, consequences, and ways of using this new understanding of the new expanded world. A new way of acting emerges through laws perfectly suited to the new expanded world. Laws of one environment respect the laws of another environment, and do not mix. Any and every component of a world interrelates with the expansion of that world, through processes of induction, but always acts appropriately in various expanded states, respecting adjustments. Expanded perceptions are the greatest stimuli for the expansion of knowledge.